Hello again. Before going any further, I must admit being a great fan of hypocrisy, particularly in people who try to portray themselves as being very progressive and right thinking and anti-racist and all the rest of it. A couple of strange things have happened lately with some of those who say they are determined to persuade YouTube to remove this channel of mine. This will be the last time I'm going to talk about these people, so I'm sure it's getting to be a bit of a bore. But there's been a couple of very, very bizarre incidents involving people who have set up channels specifically to attack me and to try and get this channel removed. The incidents are bizarre, and they're so odd that I can hardly believe them. But they do tell us something which I have long suspected, which is that those white people who claim themselves to be fierce anti-racists often turn out to be worse than anybody when it comes to displaying racism and anti-Semitism. In other words, the most dedicated anti-racists are often the worst hypocrites of all. I know I spoke about this the other day, but since then there have been some extraordinary developments which are so deliciously ironic that I'm sure viewers will enjoy hearing about them. One of the channels which is obsessed with me is run by a guy called T. Barton. He's been on a warning from YouTube for some while, and yesterday he posted another video attacking me, and with almost unbelievable tackiness, he used images of corpses from the Holocaust to make his point. YouTube promptly removed the video, gave him a strike, and said that the video was hate speech, which it was. When he appealed, they allowed the video back up, but it's covered in various warnings now, though it's the worst kind of hardcore pornography or something. One warning says that it's age restricted, but the actual video itself is covered with a black screen bearing the warning: the following content has been identified by the YouTube community as inappropriate or offensive to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. And then you have to click on a thing that you'll proceed anyway. It's certainly not something that's ever happened to any of the videos I put up. Seriously, this is a channel which is supposedly opposed to racism and wishes to see my channel removed, and all that the person running it can do is incur warnings from YouTube for using images from the Holocaust in this way. Both this channel and the other one, which is all about me, are happy to allow anti-Semites to hang out in the comments, of course. I've noticed this, and I dare say others have as well. There's a chap called Bob who runs another channel, again, one entirely devoted to attacking me, and he's especially welcoming to anti-Semitism. This is odd because anti-Semitism is, of course, a type of racism, something which he claims to be opposed to. As many will know if they've been on there, they've come on my channel, they'll know there's a few people here who make constant anti-Semitic remarks in the comments about Jews and their supposedly evil actions. One of the people who comments here quite often talking about Jews is a man who posts under the name of Saint Lieutenant Bilko. That's STLT Bilko. I've mocked him a few times here in the comments because he's always going on about Jews. He evidently feels safer on Bob's channel though, which is why on February the 26th he posted under Bob's video, which was called A Genuine and Honest Question for Simon Webb, the following comment: I feel to ask how the hell Webby gets away with blatant racism on his channel, and is he English or Jewish? Now, the very fact that he asks if I'm Jewish is enough for most people to see what kind of man he is. It's an odd question. Most people don't really care whether someone is a Jew or not, unless they're anti-Semites. What really raises a red flag is that phrase, English or Jewish. This is a very old anti-Semitic idea that one can be English or Jewish, but not both. For people like that, there's no such thing as an English Jew. Jews are by definition not English. Any Jew reading this or hearing this will at once spot the anti-Semitic trope. Bob, though, is quite happy with such comments. Didn't challenge the guy. Comments still there. Apparently Bob doesn't mind that sort of thing. See the irony here? A man who has devoted an entire channel to criticising me for having racists in my comments and not challenging them is happy to have racists on his own channel and not challenge them. The hypocrisy is simply off the scale. It gets even better though, because Bob also uses blackface on his channel, something which most of us these days do try and avoid. In a video which he put up a few days ago called An Urgent Message, Bob ends with having my face transplanted onto that of a funny black man doing a silly dance. This is known as digital blackface, and most black people find it tremendously offensive. How in this day and age somebody claiming to be an anti-racist can use blackface in this way is something of a mystery to me. Probably the explanation is that Bob only knocks around with white people, and so none of them have explained to him about digital blackface and why it is so unacceptable. As if that's not enough, the next sequence is absolutely delicious because it features my face very ingeniously transplanted onto that of a dancing person of restricted growth, a dwarf. I nearly choked when I saw this. What's that you say? Laughing at dwarfs went out of fashion with freak shows in Victorian times? Oh, don't be so stuffy. Dwarves are just funny, right? I had to share some of this because although I am myself not offended by such things, I find it very revealing that the people who claim to be so right on and anti-racist and apparently absolutely shocked and outraged by me are using imagery of the Holocaust as part of their personal attacks on me, ignoring anti-Semites in their own comments, and using blackface and films of dwarves to attack me. You really couldn't make any of this up, could you?